What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Football Chat Box. My name is Ryan, and welcome to part 2 of the best budget enablers. And in this video, we're going to be looking at midfielders and forwards up from the 4.5 million price bracket all the way up to, for budget enablers, 5.5 million. I've already shortlisted the players, so if you want to see who the players are, they're right on screen right now in the shortlist on the side of this tab, as you can see. And we're going to be talking about all of these players very soon. But first, if you are new here, welcome. Hit that like button. I should actually play this animation. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button as well. And let's get straight in to the video. All right, now we're going to be starting with midfielders first. Let's start with midfielders at the 4.5 million price bracket. Now, it is actually, to be honest, I would say there are actually at the moment none in terms of 4.5 million. And when I'm going to give you this watch list, what I've done is I've looked at the first 6 game weeks, and I've looked at teams that have really good fixtures in the or really good or decent fixtures in the first 6 game weeks, because at the end of the day, even if it's a budget enabler, you might want to play them because these are attacking positions, so you might at times may need to play them in one of those opening 6 game weeks. And if they don't have great fixtures, there isn't really any point in actually having them unless you're just going to put them and let them sit there. But hopefully this list will help you. So let's start. 4.5 million, not really that many, but there's actually one that I've found. This is a new sign-in from Spurs. I can't tell you right now whether he will actually end up in that midfield slot for Spurs. But Lucas Bergwall, new sign-in. He had Spurs have had a preseason game already. He made an assist as well. Looked very promising from the small clips that I've seen. So keep an eye out for this guy. If he gets more minutes and Ange kind of likes him, then maybe it's something to kind of keep an eye out for. I don't think he's going to be more of an attacking player, more of like a defensive, more oriented, like more center of the park, not as attacking as maybe a James Maddison. But just keep an eye out. I don't know too much about him as well. We'll have to see how he adapts as well into the Spurs lineup. But it's not a bad spot for 4.5 million. Don't expect him to start because he's priced at 4.5. But you never know, right? With Spurs' midfield, there is I wouldn't say that anyone in that Spurs midfield, like there are few players who are really good. But I think if he does well in preseason, would potentially be in that Spurs midfield. So we'll see. Keep an eye out for him, Lucas Bergwall. Let's move into the 5 million price bracket. And there's only one player to add in this 5 million price bracket, and that is Morgan Rogers. He had 8 starts last season, 3 goals and 1 assist. And he's had a really good start to preseason as well. Scored 2 goals in preseason so far in 45 minutes. 5 million midfielder. If we can nail down that spot, obviously, Aston Villa have also lost Douglas Luiz. That's a spot open in the Villa midfield. If he can do well, if he can continue the form in preseason, like do really well, this could be a really good price for someone with actually pretty decent fixtures at the first 6 game weeks, except for the Arsenal one. Really good fixtures, 5 million. This guy could potentially be what we're looking for in an answer of like a Cole Palmer replacement from last season, where like, oh, we need a budget player who will do pretty decently, because we have so many expensive forwards and midfielders in the game that we can't fit them all. So we need a budget enabler. This guy could actually maybe be that player potentially. Wait and see. Let's watch this space. Let's see how he does in preseason. But definitely one I would have on my watch list. If not, I've already got him in my team just to make sure that I don't forget about him. So I've got him in my team. But yeah, one to keep an eye out for, Morgan Rogers at 5 million for Aston Villa. 2 goals already in preseason. Let's move into the 5.5 million price bracket. And this is where we bring out the midfielders, the rest of the midfielders. Let's start with the Forest players. Now, Anthony Elanga at 5.5 million and Callum Hudson-Odoi at 5.5 million as well. Callum Hudson-Odoi had 8 goals and 2 assists in last season. Played 20 times, started 20 times. Anthony Elanga started 25 times, 5 goals, 9 assists. So pretty decent campaigns. Opening fixtures look really good, to be honest. For Forest, obviously you guys might want to go for like a Morgan Gibbs-White, who is slightly more expensive in the Forest midfield. But these guys are also maybe someone to consider. Callum Hudson-Odoi actually had 2 assists in preseason so far as well in 45 minutes. Anthony Elanga had a couple chances, but he was partnered up in front with Dennis. For anyone who knows Dennis from Watford, who is now at Nottingham Forest. So he was partnered up with Dennis, and Dennis kind of missed a few chances, so we'll see. But if he's going to play out of position in the front two as well, maybe when Chris Wood comes, if he's going to play out of position in front two, could be an option. Both him and Hudson-Odoi, good talents, good fixtures at the start. Keep an eye out for that. Let's move into Rogers' new signing from Villa as well. His teammate Ross Barkley. Now Ross Barkley played for Luton last season, who were relegated. 5 goals, 5 assists. He's coming in at 5.5. Again, like I mentioned, Douglas Luiz has left. The midfield spot is there. Ross Barkley could potentially get into that midfield spot as well. 5.5 is not a bad price. We know he's capable. Like, he's got good talent in him. If he can do well during preseason, if he plays a bit more of an advanced attacking role, this could actually be a good price as well. Him and Rogers definitely playing for Villa. You might want to keep an eye out for seeing how they actually do and whether they could become options for us to consider. Obviously, I think Ross Barkley, if he does start, might also take a few set pieces as well. So one to watch out for. Then we move into Harvey Elliott. Now, I can't guarantee whether Harvey Elliott will start or not. It's a new manager for Liverpool. We haven't really seen any preseason games yet. I'm just going this base of like looking at what Liverpool have in terms of midfield and who could be promising. And Harvey Elliott, for me, seems promising. 11 starts, 3 goals, 9 assists last season. Obviously, a lot of times he came off the bench and got some of these returns from last season. But if he gets into that Liverpool lineup, he impresses during preseason and it looks like he's going to be a solid player. I actually don't mind him. He's a very good player, tends to be attacking as well. Good opening set of fixtures if you're looking for a punt. Like if you're looking for a fifth midfielder at budget price, he's also not a bad option to have. So one to keep an eye out for as well. Harvey Elliott, 5.5 million, is also not a bad option if he gets into the starting lineup for Liverpool, that is. Let's move into the promoted sides. Let's start with Leicester, shall we? I've gone for Steffi Mavididi. He was basically, let me actually find this out. He was the left winger for Leicester City. He started 42 games out of the 46. He had 12 goals and 6 assists last season and 11 big chances created as well. So left winger for Leicester City, keep an eye out, definitely. He comes in at 5.5 million. Another one I should mention who is not yet in the game, he has just signed a permanent contract with Leicester City, is their other winger. I'm just going to put Mavdidi up here, but their other Leicester City winger, let me get his name actually correct. Abdul Fatawu Isaku. I might be butchering this name, but keep an eye out for him. Keep an eye out for Abdul. He basically started 33 games last season, 6 goals, not much there, but 13 assists though. So more of a creative player as well. 32 big chances created. 32 big chances created. So keep an eye out. That's almost 3 times the amount of Mavdidis as well. So keep an eye out for this guy. He's just signed a permanent deal. Should be added to the game soon. If he is added, I think 5.5 is what he'll come at, because I think all the Leicester players max are at 5.5. So he will also most likely come in at 5.5 as a midfielder, Leicester's right winger. So definitely keep an eye out. Obviously, new manager, but most likely will start. He's got their number 7 jersey as well, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, one to keep an eye out when he gets added to the game. Moving on is to another Leicester teammate is certain Jamie Vardy. Oh no, that's in the forwards. I'll get to the forwards later. Let's go to the midfield. Sorry, Chaplin from Ipswich. Now I've gone for Connor Chaplin from Ipswich at 5.5, and I've gone for Mari Hutchinson at 5.5. Now the opening two fixtures aren't great, but then after that, as you can see, the fixtures are good for Ipswich. So the opening two might be a slight problem. Let's start with Hutchinson. So Hutchinson last season for Ipswich, he basically started 20 games, 10 goals, 5 assists, 7 big chances created. Not a bad option, actually. One to kind of consider. He plays more in the, if I can bring up Ipswich's lineup. I'm just looking on another browser for this for you guys. He plays in the left wing spot, Omari Hutchinson for Ipswich. Could also play in like a number 10 from the looks of it. So left wing / number 10. Pretty good option. One to kind of consider, Omari Hutchinson. And then the other one I mentioned is Connor Chaplin, who, based off SofaScore, seems to be listed as the number 10. And also based off his heat map as well, looks very similar, like number 10 / tends to drift out to the wide right from the looks of it. Let me see his stats. Connor Chaplin started 42 games for Ipswich, 13 goals and 8 assists from Connor Chaplin. And also 13 big chances created. So again, another good option from Ipswich if you're looking in a midfield spot. 5.5 obviously between him and Hutchinson. These two are also players that you might want to have a look at. So that's your midfield. That's basically it. I've covered the options that are at the moment available. There might be others who I haven't mentioned, and this is something to take into consideration because preseason hasn't started for every team yet. So there might be players that we haven't got to see properly, that we don't know about, that might actually pop up, and if they do, we'll update this list obviously. But that's the midfielders. Let's move into the forwards, and there aren't any in the 4.5 bracket, so I'm just going to tell you right now, no forward for the 4.5. But I also no forward for, as you can see, from the 5 million price bracket as well. So 4.5 and 5 million, no forwards. So 5.5 million is where we're looking at for the forwards. Let's start with Joe Pedro, since a lot of people seem to be talking about him, and they all seem to be having him in their teams for as a thinking of an enabler. Now, I will start. New manager for Brighton. So we don't know what exactly is going to be the plan. 9 goals and 3 assists, penalty taker for Brighton at last season. The opening fixtures, though, I am not fond of. I don't think Brighton have good opening fixtures, even though he's priced at 5.5. It just might be me, but I just don't like these opening fixtures, to be honest. So I'm not too fond of it. Obviously, they also have Danny Welbeck, who I also, if I'm not mistaken, is priced at 5.5. Yes, he's also priced at 5.5. I haven't added any of the Brighton like Adingra or Bonanete because obviously in the video I haven't added them as part of the watch list because we're not really sure yet what the new manager is going to try and do. And we need to see more preseason games before we kind of think about Brighton. But like I said, I was trying to look at the opening 6 game weeks in terms of trying to give you guys watch list ideas. And I am not really too sold on Joe Pedro as well, to be honest. But it might just be me. Let's move into Edouard. Now, Edouard isn't really first choice, I'll be honest. 17 starts, 7 goals. We do expect Mateta to start above him. However, Olise isn't there anymore. So I'm wondering if there'll be a slight tweak to the formation in terms of how maybe Crystal Palace play this season. We'll have to wait and see in terms of that. I'll have him in my watch list. I've got him in my team actually because I was just looking for a 5.5 player. But someone to kind of consider as well in terms of that. Just to monitor how Crystal Palace play. Who fills that Olise role? That's something that we might have to keep an eye out for as well. But he's not a bad player as well, Edouard. So have a look and we'll see what happens during preseason. Let's move into another player who might not be first choice. Raul Jimenez, 5.5 million. Again, in his case, Muniz is probably going to be the first choice player for Fulham. However, Jimenez is actually a pretty good player, I would say. 18 starts last season, 7 goals. Had injuries as well to deal with, came back from injuries. So good opening run of fixtures for Fulham as well. We'll have to wait and see how they approach this season. Let's see how they do in preseason as well. If he does get into the starting lineup, I like him. He's a really good forward. Might be a really good option at 5.5 if he does manage to get into the starting lineup. Moving in, George Hurst, the Ipswich forward. Let me try and get his stats up for you guys. So George Hurst, 24 games started last season, 7 goals and 6 assists. So not that great compared to maybe a Hutchinson or Connor Chaplin. So I wouldn't really probably go for him. But just want to kind of mention just because of the way their fixtures slightly improve after. So that's why I thought I would mention him. Move into Jamie Vardy. Now, not a great start for the fixtures, opening fixtures. And you might say Jamie Vardy might not necessarily be their starting striker. If anything, he started 18 games, played 35 in total, started 18 of that, but he got 18 goals. He got 18 goals last season and 2 assists. This guy doesn't age. I'm telling you, 37 years old, so he might actually not be the starting striker. It might actually be someone like a Patterson Daka or someone. But if he does be there, if he ends up becoming their starting striker, I mean, 18 goals last season. Even if he does half of that, or even like 2/3 of that, that's amazing, to be honest. So keep an eye out for Jamie Vardy. Obviously, pretty good FPL asset. Has been a pretty good FPL asset in past seasons. So we'll see. And then the final one is Adam Armstrong from Southampton. Fixtures are good for the Saints after the first one in terms of attacking option, but I don't know how strong the Saints are going to be. So might want to kind of keep an eye out for them in terms of preseason. But it is there. The options are there. Adam Armstrong. Last season he scored, if I can get his details up. Where is it? Let's see. So Adam Armstrong last season, he played 44 games. Sorry, played 46, started 44 of them. 21 goals and 13 assists last season for Southampton. So again, another player to kind of keep an eye out for. 21 goals, 13 assists, really good option if they can actually do well in terms of scoring. So Adam Armstrong, again, another forward to keep an eye out for. So yeah, that's basically it. There's no 5 million or 4.5 million forward options this year for the moment, at least. Maybe in preseason something might appear. But if you want to take your screenshots, these let me increase the size. Oh, it's actually increased already. These are your midfielders and forwards. The player picks. Let me know. Have I missed anyone? Most likely, I might have actually missed someone. I've just looked at the first six game weeks in terms of like options and trying to find good players for that. But let me know if I missed anyone, and if I have, put it in the comments and let me know from what team and all of that to keep an eye out for. And yeah, thank you all for watching. If you've reached up to this point, go check out yesterday's video on the defenders and goalkeepers. Have a look at that. Muric got released and now got removed from the game. He came in at 4.3 for goalkeeper for Ipswich. So I don't know when he's gonna come back, but we'll see. He might get released again at 4.5. We'll see. Anyways, keep an eye out. Go check out yesterday's video. It should appear just at the end of this as well in the cards. You can click it and you can go watch yesterday's video as well. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you all